Hi, Dan Fontaine here, Fontaine Network. Welcome back. Another spectacular fall day in Louisville, Colorado. I hope it's beautiful where you are. Let's just review quickly here. This introductory program, we first started talking about some of the things to look for if you're considering starting a home-based business, whether it's a social media, internet business, or a storefront type business, or a home, out of your home business. Things like, what's your why? Is it sufficient? Is it strong enough for you to, in the tough times, to get up and do what you need to do? Time. What sort of time do you have available to do this? What sort of finances do you have? Will you be just starting on a shoestring budget, or do you have a marketing or a set of funds that would allow you to do more? We also have talked about habits, and that's what I'm going to continue today. Friday I talked about MIT researchers' study on something they called the habit loop. And the habit loop included or contained three parts to it. The cue that sets you off to do some sort of action, which is the routine. Cue sets off the routine. Routine brings you an expected reward. It could be a positive habit or a negative habit. Then further research by other researchers found what they called the idea of the craving. The reward satisfies the craving. It's the craving that you're doing this for. So cue sets off the routine that brings you the reward, which satisfies that craving for you. So once we know that, we can start to alter things like the routines if they don't serve you, if they're not a positive habit at the moment, or if the routine doesn't serve you, say it's destructive, or cue, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, you want a cookie, or you have some sort of urge, so you munch on a cookie, and you're starting to put on weight. Well, maybe munching on some fruit instead. So change that routine. That's a simple explanation. Alcoholics Anonymous found their first step is to identify the cue. What sets this whole thing off? And then they ask you to identify what craving is being satisfied by the routine that you do. Good news is you can change habits. You can't entirely get rid of them, but you can change them and supplant them a little bit. Best way to change a habit is maintain the same cue, maintain the same reward, which is satisfying a craving if it's a positive craving. Change the routine to something that's more positive. Now, also, good news is you can create your own new habits. Same parts to the habit, but understand what your craving is. What is it you want to accomplish? I want to be successful in my new home-based social media marketing or marketing business. I want to lose weight. I want to lower my blood pressure. I want to look and feel better. I want to be healthier. Had some heart problems. Want to take care of that. Use my shoe example. Set the shoes out by the bed. You've created the craving, better health, let's say better health. Shoes are there in the morning. You've designed a routine, putting on your walking or workout clothes, running clothes, and going to do that. And that reward, again, is what's going to start to satisfy the craving. Maybe your blood pressure starts to go down. Maybe you just like to run, like to exercise, and like what they call that runner's high, the burst of endorphins. So it's also possible to change or create and make a new habit. So that's something very good news, and especially once you've figured out what your why is. So again, you can change the habit by changing the routine if it's a constructive craving or constructive reward, or you can begin to create a new habit that addresses a more positive reward for you. Everybody's habits are driven by different cravings. We have hundreds and probably maybe even thousands of habits. I mentioned earlier that our brain uses habits as a quick way to, if you will, save energy. have a cue, the brain goes, okay, what habit works best for this cue? Finds that cue, boom, you do it without thinking. Getting up, maybe brushing your teeth first thing in the morning, going through a routine like that, a shaving routine, whatever it is. Your brain just kicks off, saves energy by doing old known routines on a regular basis. We don't even think about it. Now, again, Charles Duhigg, The Power of Habits is the book that I'm referring to or referencing here, because I think it's just been a fantastic book for me. And he's given a way to start to create new habits for you. And it's the framework is what he calls it. And the first part of the framework is identifying the routine, experiment with different rewards, isolate the cue, what sets it off, and have a plan. So identify a routine that's not been helpful for you, and you can experiment with the rewards. Pick 4 or 5 different rewards and see if that satisfies the craving. Make some notes so you can go back and go, what was I thinking, or what was I doing, who was I with when that cue hit. And then set an alarm for like 15 minutes later and go back and go, after you've tried a different reward, say something other than a donut, you tried an apple. Try that apple, 15 minutes later, am I still hungry? Am I still craving something? Well, maybe it's not hunger that's actually the craving. Maybe going and grabbing a donut isn't actually, it satisfies the craving, but it isn't so much the donut as maybe it's the action, going up and doing it. But I'll put some notes up, or you're seeing them on the screen right now. So after you've figured out the routine and the reward, then you can have altered your habit. And this is really quickly do it. And then isolating that cue, as I mentioned. Okay, what was I doing? Where was I? What time of the day was it? Was I feeling happy? Was I mad? Was I angry? Was I bored? Were there other people around? Do certain people set off certain habits? I'll bet they do. And then what happened right before you started this habit? So those are things to consider. Then have a plan. Just the plan is for the cue, and choose a behavior that delivers the reward that you want. So these are all ideas about habits, whether they're positive or negative for us, things to consider if we want to become more effective, or we wonder why we're not taking action when we really want to, but we're not doing it. Are we procrastinating? What sort of habits are contributing to that? Do we want to get a healthy routine, change our lifestyle a little bit? So what can we do to create a new habit that would get us on our way? Again, great book, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and Wednesday we'll come back, and I'm not exactly sure what that topic will be. If you want to see the previous videos that I did in this series, my website address is below, and if I can answer any questions or you have any suggestions, comments, please share them as well. Thanks very much, and have a great afternoon. The camera's wobbling all over the place, but take care.